Today we need to talk about Jin mentioning a lawsuit and what that is about. We also have Jin recently doing a talent show for the military and people thinking he cheated, and then the government saying BTS by name. So hey dumplings, it's Dave Decide, hater or not, make sure you subscribe with the notification bell on, grab your dumpling, tea spilling mug merch, and let's go. The government mentioning BTS this time around is a very big deal. There's a lot of backstory here, so please follow along. We have all struggled to get concert tickets, and getting tickets for any artist is already very stressful because the demand for the seats and tickets are very high with any well-known artist, especially BTS, and especially on big platforms like TicketMaster. I think armies have been trying to get the attention of officials regarding TicketMaster for many years. The issue has been very complicated and a very long, outdrawn problem that should have never been an issue for this long. So what happened? Well, there's always been an issue with getting tickets at a fair price. Ticketmaster basically has a monopoly on the ticketing system, which means they can allegedly charge whatever they want without any competition. And we know that competition is what drives the prices down, because if there's another company offering the same service for a lower rate, people would just go there, and then everyone would lower their prices if they want any sales. But apparently there isn't much competition with Ticketmaster, and pretty much any ticketing company you can think of has to go through them, allegedly. Not only that, allegedly Ticketmaster owns over 200 major concert venues, so should these venues speak up about the unfair prices, they may not get big artists to perform at their venue, and therefore the venue may not make any money in the future. This has been going on for many years, and I don't know anyone that's had a good experience buying from Ticketmaster. And allegedly Ticketmaster also owns the companies that resell tickets like Live Nation. Some armies over the years, when BTS would have their concert, noticed that $60 tickets were being resold for over $400. An army screen grabbed and circled a term after buying the ticket that said that the tickets should not be resold at a higher rate than what it's worth without written consent from the issuer. This alleges that Ticketmaster is giving written consent to resellers like Live Nation to resell these tickets for over $400. Of course, there is still a legal battle on this, so until the results come in from that, we won't know if this is 100% what is going on. But as you can imagine, this is a problem, because where's the limit to this, and at what point is it simply just a scam? However, for many years that BTS and ARMY have been fighting this, they really couldn't do anything. Labels need companies in order to sell tickets safely, and the only way for them to even get to these huge venues they need is through these ticketing companies. So a lot of the labels comply, and ARMY's complaints fall on deaf ears. What ended up really pushing the debate into the government's ears was the release of Midnights by Taylor Swift. The album destroyed Spotify records, and Taylor got like 10 number ones on the Billboard. And so of course, when Taylor announced her tour, this was going to cause a huge demand for tickets. I think she had over 2 million seats, and when the concert sale went live on Ticketmaster, Taylor sold a good chunk of it really fast. Then it apparently was reported a bunch of those tickets that were supposed to be sold normally were just sent to the resale market and being sold for thousands. And we're not talking like 1,000 or 2,000, which is already a lot. We're talking like $35,000, which compared to the couple $100s that BTS tickets were going for on the resale market, $35,000 is jaw-dropping amount. Like, you can put a down payment on a house or get a car. Several Swifties or Taylor Swift fans filed a lawsuit against Ticketmaster, and this pushed the conversation into the Senate. Now every single artist that has been sold through the ticketing company is being looked into, and BTS's name was mentioned by one of the senators, Sen Klobuchar. She addressed not only Taylor Swift and BTS, but also Bad Bunny and several other artists. Hopefully what will end up happening after this is that there will be some law that will pass which would allow for these ticketing companies to legally not be allowed to do all of this. And just so you know, there are laws in place to stop monopolies. So it's possible for this to work. For example, Facebook or Meta had this issue as they owned way too many different social platforms, not giving a chance for other platforms to compete. So this lawsuit with Ticketmaster can definitely result in lower and fair ticket prices in the future. This is funny because not only has BTS's name appeared in court for this legal battle and is being talked about, Jin also said the word lawsuit in a different context that is being talked about heavily today as well. Little backstory here. BTS has a lot of reality shows and documentaries that are being rewatched now that they are on this little break. We are reacting to a bunch of cute moments and episodes of BTS reality show and behind the scenes over on Patreon. So if you would like to react with me and fangirl with me, we do have a limited $1 tier that has 10 spots left. So if you're interested in that, hope to see you there. Anywho, the documentaries and shows show a lot of cute moments where we get to see the boys' authentic personality. Jin is someone who tells a lot of dad jokes. Dad jokes revolve a lot around puns and wordplay, which of course a lot of international armies like me are going to find a much harder time understanding, as I don't know how to read or write Korean. So I wouldn't understand any Korean wordplay. One joke that Jin said that armies were trying to decipher was when he said, "What is it called when a cow sings?" The answer is lawsuit. And this is obviously confusing because what sense does that make? Well, apparently the word cow is written as the first part of the word lawsuit in Korean, and then the second part is song. So the direct translation of those two characters in Korean would be cow song, but together means lawsuit. Similar to how the word law and suit mean two different things separately, but together mean legal action. As you can tell, this is a magnificent joke and hilarious. You could tell Suga got it immediately and started laughing as well. Jungkook was there too, but didn't really seem to understand it right away and did not laugh, which is the same as me, because even if I understood Korean, I would not have thoughts of that, as I don't tend to think of spelling when I think of a joke. But it's clever for sure. Jin was also in the news recently as headlines started to come out about what happened with Jin in the military. Several news sites started to report on the military's talent show and Jin's team winning first place. It's believed that Jin danced and taught his other team members how to dance. And of course, given the other team members may not have someone who is experienced in dancing or anything like that, the other teams may not have this advantage of having someone who has been taught dancing for a decade professionally. People were very excited to hear that Jin's team won first place, and people were not surprised that he did. So what did Jin win? That is the big question. It seems like the winner got a little mini vacation, just one day off though. So people were talking about how Jin was able to get an entire day off and rest, maybe even leave the camp for a day to see his family. So we don't actually know where he is now or if he's still at the camp. You would think winning the show is as simple as that, but people were saying that Jin cheated or that he may get resentment from the other soldiers because Jin allegedly cheated. Well, I don't think Jin cheated. That's not his style. I think he would rather lose than cheat. But why are people thinking this? Well, apparently people are saying that just Jin being in the team or just Jin having his name exist is going to cause him to win. Either because the judges like him or because of voting, I don't know. That is so silly to me. While possible, I think it's so incorrect to think that just because someone is popular or successful, that successful things just fall into their lap. There's a reason why someone is successful. They don't get there for no reason, and they definitely don't stay successful for no reason. Even if you look at someone like the Kardashians, you might think, well, they have no talent. But a lot of people watch their shows as guilty pleasures, and the show wouldn't continue to renew and gain publicity if the ratings were bad. That's not how the world works. They're not just given this spotlight because they're rich and successful. The spotlight was given to them as a result of them being rich and successful. The same thing goes with BTS and Jin. If Jin's team just wasn't good, I don't think they would have won first place. And if BTS's music wasn't good, I don't think they'd be as popular as they are. So I just don't believe that just because Jin is popular, he automatically gets things. We also currently live in a world where it seems like a good chunk of people want to see celebrities or public figures fail because it makes them feel better about their life. So they like to give a reason. Oh, this song BTS did got #1 because they're already popular. That's just not how the world works. It went #1 because it's good. And of course, did BTS's popularity help get the #1 faster? Yes, but it still has to be a good song. An artist has to constantly work to get new listeners and fans. If they don't, they will lose fans. And not because they're hated, but because people lose fans all the time. Due to some fans just being too busy to listen, some fans are going off to the military, some fans go to a remote desert for a year, so artists to compensate need to constantly be getting new eyeballs. If the music is bad, they will never reach those new people and get new fans. I don't think the soldiers were upset. I don't think they would hurt Jin, and I definitely don't think that Jin won any prizes just because he is famous, or getting special treatment as a result of that. Jin is good at what he does, and probably does it effortlessly, so he gets his achievements. Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out my Patreon for more videos, link down below. Thanks, just love a comment right here. Love you, bye.